Hello, everybody. Today we have none other than Chris Blair of eCom Vantage. This guy is literally living his best life. Check this out. Chris Blair has been working full-time online since 2010 and in eCom since 2012. He's done millions of dollars in sales. But what he is most proud of is he has helped thousands of students have success in eCom. Welcome. Hey, Chris. How you doing?
Hey, great. Thanks for having me here, guys. I'm just sitting in Kyoto, Japan, where I live, and I'm at a coffee shop. This coffee shop restaurant I always go to every single morning for work. I literally, every morning I wake up around 7:38, and I come over here and I eat breakfast, and I work here, do calls all day till noon, and then, yeah, in the afternoon, I some days I work and some days I don't. So
we're jealous, man. We're jealous.
Half-day work lifestyle.
Yeah, there you go, man.
Although occasionally I do work longer. I do work longer on certain days when there's a lot of stuff going on. But normally, yeah, around 8 to about noon.
Awesome.
Nice. The show today will be brought to you by none other than Naeem Randhawa, $10 million Amazon seller, ex-VP of Big Data Company, Amazon best-selling author on the business of entrepreneurship, real estate mogul, and teaching in over 500 properties bought and sold and flips. And he loves riding his motorcycle when he can clear his garages of Amazon inventory. I'm Juan Valdez, the producer of the show.
Thanks, Juan. Thanks, Juan.
I didn't know you flipped so much property, my friend. You didn't tell me that part.
Well, he didn't say they were on playing cards. They're just playing cards.
Oh, Monopoly game. Monopoly
real
property.
Real properties, man.
I've sold a lot of Monopoly property myself.
I play a lot of Monopoly. No, actually, man, I've been really blessed. I've had great partners in the industry. I kind of cheat at business. I just rely on really, really good partners. I hang off their coattails and I take some of the credit, you know? So, but yeah, man, it's a blessing. Yeah,
I find that hard to believe. Anyway.
Yeah, well, thanks for joining
You're humble,
us.
though.
Yeah, I appreciate it, and we're definitely excited. I know we've been trying to meet for like a month now. I think our initial conversation was maybe 2-3 months ago. So
2-3 months ago, but there was all sorts of delays. But anyway, we're finally doing it, and here we are.
We're finally doing it, man. And you're the first. You're the first. So. You're that special, man.
Thank you. By the way, I want to comment. You guys are probably thinking to yourself, I'm wearing a sweater and a turtleneck. It's April in Japan. What the heck? And normally, guys, in April in Japan, I'd be wearing a shorts, t-shirt, and thongs. But for some reason, and even last week, I was in t-shirt and a little bit not warm enough for shorts and thongs. I had jeans and t-shirt on last week, but suddenly we're having this massive cold wave. I mean, it's unbelievable. Oh, really? It feels like winter all over again. I literally had packed up my winter blanket when I sleep at night. Yeah. I had to unzip pack it and put it on because I was freezing my ass off last night. It was so cold.
You know why that is, right? It's because Juan won't stop using the aerospray cans for his hair, man. Won't give it up.
I do love the environment.
Forget the trees, forget the whales.
But the ironic part, apparently, I just looked at the weather report. This is going to last for like 3 or 4 days, but then it's going to go back to almost summer weather. So
yeah.
Cold front.
Japan, we were both super interested and excited about. You're not living a normal life. You're not living the 9 to 5. You're not living in America, even though I think you were born here.
That's right. I was born and raised in America. That's right.
So
in Denver, Colorado.
Okay. So what the hell are you doing
I'm a big-time massive Broncos fan.
Oh, there you go.
Well, after university, I came out here and I started to teach English, and I really liked teaching English. It was great. In fact, honest truth is, if you can make a lot of money teaching English, I'd still be doing it today. It's one of the funnest, most entertaining jobs I've ever had, and I loved it. But after that, things progress, and I thought, I wanted to get into the corporate world, and I went into the corporate world, and I was doing sales and marketing, and also doing that kind of thing. I eventually ended up doing headhunting, trying to help foreign capital companies find bilingual, talented Japanese people. But I didn't really jive with the corporate world. I got into, I'm the type of guy who says it how it is. I mean, I think anyone who's seen some of my live streams, I don't pull punches. And so, there were several
that
times.
didn't go over very well in the corporate environment.
No. There's several times I was told by my boss in Japan, if you weren't rocking it in sales, I'd fire you. The only reason I'm keeping you is because, and he goes, Chris, at one point he goes, Chris, do me a favor. Next time you have a strong opinion, and by the way, he goes, you sometimes do make valid points. Can you pull me aside and tell me one-on-one instead of sitting in front of the whole office? It's kind of embarrassing for me.
Can you not break all the dishes in the china shop and destroy our culture?
Anyways, yeah, exactly. So anyway, I was a little bit, not fitting in well there. Even though people liked me as a person, I just wasn't fitting into that culture. So I decided to look for an alternative, and I found, this is back in 2009. I started playing around with internet stuff. I started off actually doing kind of a little bit embarrassed, but MLM and online. But then I soon realized, wait a minute, this MLM is not really for me. Well,
you paid your lumps, right? You paid your lumps, right? I mean, you got to start somewhere.
Yeah, then I moved on to affiliate marketing, and I was having success with affiliate marketing. And during that time, this T-shirt thing, right, came up, and I heard about people making money on Teespring. This is back in the beginning of 2012, and T-shirts, and I sort of laughed it off. But then I saw this post from this guy who brought in he had like $100,000 commission check over a 2-week span from Teespring, and I was like, what the fuck? I mean, that's some serious cash. So I got to look into that. And so then I decided to do it. And I was really determined to make this T-shirt thing work. I mean, I was so determined, literally, I'm not joking, you guys. I stunk at it in the beginning. I couldn't figure it out. And literally, I launched some 40-some shirts on Teespring without making any sales at all. And so I'm way down, as you can imagine, because you're spending money on advertising, you're spending money on design, you're spending money on time and effort. So way down, I'm in the hole big time, but I'm just determined. So shirt 41, I made 10 sales, and I was really excited. I thought I had found the gold rush, but of course that's nothing. I mean, it hadn't made up my losses. But anyway, so I said the next few.
When you made those sales, those were everything to you. Those first 10 sales, man, they were a thing of beauty, weren't they?
It made me believe. It made me believe that it was possible, and that was the key. I mean, at that point, I just needed any sort of proof that people will actually go on sales page from an ad on Facebook and actually purchase.
It's a validation.
A T-shirt. It's a validation. Yeah. I needed that.
Yeah, that first sale, whether it's $10 or $1, the excitement, and you still see this on Facebook all the time in all the different groups, right? People always post, "Hey, man, my first sale, it's 50 cents," but that's not the point. You're good for you, that first sale. It's hard enough to do that.
Yeah. So I literally made $160. So it wasn't a lot of money. And if you count all the money I spent on testing the first 40, I'm down.
Sure.
And I keep going. And then shirt 48. And to this day, it's really funny. If you go onto some of the Teespring research sites right there, it's still one of their top 50 sellers of all time. Okay, so it's really amazing because I haven't sold on Teespring since 2014 when I moved on the shop in 2015. But think about this, and Teespring around since 2012. It's still this one shirt, just exploded. I mean, it just exploded, and it just was making 100, 200 sales a day, and it went on for months. And so
let me ask you. Let me ask you on that shirt. Do you think it was a lucky guess that you just hit the right design and then advertised it, or had you learned enough by then to kind of put a little strategy into it?
I learned enough by then to put a little strategy together. Okay,
and some luck.
Okay, so by the way, T-shirt game is a lot harder than it used to be, but the thing is, what I learned when I first started this, I figured people would like funny T-shirts. And by the way, you can sell all sorts of T-shirts. You can sell motivational T-shirts. You can sell, good, cute design T-shirts. But I was trying to sell funny T-shirts. But what I was doing was just trying to sell shirts that were funny. And for example, I had a shirt that I launched at the time, and I thought this was going to sell like crazy. And because I seen this meme out there that said, Jesus loves you, everyone else thinks you suck. So I thought that was hilarious. And so I put that on a t. I told the designer, let's use this as an example. Let's make our own unique design of it. And it didn't sell anything. And it got tons of comments. And one thing I realized at the time, and now by the way, my t-shirts are a lot harder to sell now. So I'm not gonna. You got to go beyond what I'm about to teach you here today. But back in those days, what I realized most important thing is one, it needs to be. T-shirt needs to be interesting, funny, cool, or whatever. Have a good design. That's paramount. Or have a slogan, expression. You know, it can be a serious slogan, but I've seen a lot of veteran shirts or military shirts that are very, very serious. They're not funny angle at all. I'm passionate about being a veteran, right? Or veteran forever, or those kind of things. So it's got to have cool expression, design, funny, unique, all that stuff. But it also has to be tied to someone's passion. Because think about this.
Right. It has to inspire. It has to do something. Inspire.
That's right. So if it's just funny or unique, cool, or whatever, no one's going to buy it. Or a few very small people buy it. Or if it's just something that appeals to someone's passion but doesn't have those elements, no one's going to buy it either. It's got to have a combination of both. Now, in these days, it's even more competitive. So there's tons of other stuff you need. But anyway, that's what you needed to make it work. And so then I started to realize that I started really trying to dig deep into certain niches and get to know certain niches. And the particular shirt that I had success with was in the photography niche. Why I decided on the photography niche is because I was just fooling around on Facebook one day and I saw there was these massive photography fan pages, and I don't even own a camera. I mean, literally the camera I had was on my phone. So but I had a good friend who was a photography guy, and I reached out to him and said, hey, look, do people buy T-shirts and necklaces and things related to photography all the time, man? Photographers. And I said, well, what kind of person buys? He goes, and the thing he was really cool. He says, the professional photographers don't, but the hobby photographers do. So target the hobbyists.
Yeah,
the hobbyists are more passionate about being a photographer than the professional photographers are.
Right. They're hungry.
So I came up with a funny T-shirt expression, and in the photography niche. And I targeted the hobby photographers, and it just exploded. And there's millions of them.
So you're saying, Chris, that for those who are curious, shirt number 48 was in the photography niche.
That's right. Yeah.
Okay. So shirt number 48 in your T-shirt empire is going to be the one that's gonna make you successful.
No, I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying it took me that long to be successful, but I was determined. I know people who've had success a lot faster than that. I know one guy who had success his first launch. I was like, wow.
Yeah, and that's kind of here and there. So you started this you started your journey in 2012. We're in 2019.
I'm selling physical products.
Yeah, you've been at this game now for 5+ years.
Mm-hmm.
So where is the whole POD, the print on demand business today? And you hear a lot of people saying, man, it's saturated, it's tough, and it's this and it's that. But where are we today for somebody who's interested in print on demand, whether it's T-shirts or sweatshirts or pants or whatever it is? What's a synopsis of the current pulse of this industry right now?
Okay, all right. So first of all, the idea that it's saturated is this is just bullshit. Okay. Period. Let me just call it as it's not true at all. Okay. And yes, it's more competitive than it used to be, but there's so many ways to stand out. Because first of all, let me point out, there's actually pockets of specialized niches that are untouched. In the last 3 months, I've had 2 new members come into our group mastermind, and I got into conversations with them, and they said, I want to do this niche. And I'm like, wow, I never even thought of that niche. So I started doing some research, because every time a new niche idea comes up, I'm curious, and I start typing into Facebook and Instagram, and there's not anyone selling anything in those niches related to POD. Nothing. So just think about that. I mean, there's actually untapped niches. Okay.
Yeah, where I see that is, have you ever gotten to the doctor's office or dentist's office and you see this weird industry magazine that you've never heard of? And so then you realize there is a whole industry of people who make RV tires, and there's a magazine for whatever RV tire. I'm just saying, right?
Yep.
And that's great. You're absolutely right. And like they say, there's riches in the niches, right? And there's so many. You're absolutely right.
There's so many potential ones. So, but even if you go after a proven niche, there's always an angle in. Okay. And now here's the thing, and I'm gonna say this with a caveat, and this is weird because right now, actually, the best selling product on my store that I'm pushing. See, with paid advertising, it's all about what's called the driver, okay, or the winner product, the product you push, guys. 10 to 20% of your products will drive all your sales. Okay, so what happens is you take a product that's winning and you just you push it with ads, and the people come to your website. And when they're on the website, they'll buy the stuff, right? There's tons of products that I sell. For example, let me give you an example. Okay, I have a hat that says "Beer Me." Okay, it is one of my most best-selling add-on products on my website. What I mean by an add-on product means when people go to my website, they're there for that product that I was advertising. They get on my website and they say, "Oh, that Beer Me hat's cool. I'll take that too." They're in the shopping mode at that point. But every time I've tried to advertise Beer Me cap or Beer Me shirt or anything like that on Facebook directly, it's the lead item. Guess what happens?
No takers?
I lose money. I make some sales, but I lose money because it's not good enough to be a driver. It's great enough to be an add-on product. So there's 3 types of products on your website. There are drivers. I call them product drivers because you're driving the traffic to your site based on these leading, winning, hot items that people want to buy and get them motivated to come to your website. There are add-on products, and then there's get rid of products. Okay, you actually don't. People want to fill their store with hundreds of products, and I actually, you know what? I got to. Just a reminder to me, I haven't gone out and cleaned up my product listings for a long time. I got to go in there and do this. You should, every couple months, go in and clean out your product listings because you don't want a lot of stuff on your website that people aren't buying because it'll make them bounce. As they start surfing around your website, they'll bounce if they see a lot of stuff that's not interesting for them. So you actually, when it comes to products, less is more. You want a good number of products, you don't want too many. Okay. So now we got ones to get rid of products, we got add-on products, we got driver products. Okay. So the driver products drive your traffic. They drive your website, especially with paid ads. Okay, SEO is a different game, and I'm not going to get into that on this particular podcast. But by the way, we have an entire SEO section. We got 4 hours of training on just SEO, right? So you can actually, and you should do SEO, guys. It's a great long-term play. Okay, and I do SEO, and I recommend that people do SEO. We have an entire module on SEO, but that is a slow game, and that's not where you should start. You should start with paid ads, okay? Because it's easy to get started going quickly. So with paid ads,
Chris, let me step you back just a little bit because we got, listeners that are they don't even necessarily know what POD is, right? Okay. And we're getting into SEO. Let's step back a little bit and let's think about soccer mom, soccer dad. Okay. Doing the 9 to 5. They've heard of Amazon as a business opportunity that, hey, you should sell on Amazon, you should sell on something, or you should sell T-shirts, or they've heard that, e-commerce is the place to be. Okay. So walk through some of the baby steps of reality versus hype, because, there's a ton of crap out there, like 30 days and you can make $1 million, right? So let's talk some tactical 3 steps, 4 steps into how does somebody get into this whole world of publishing on demand, T-shirts, etc.
Actually, we should talk about print on demand is. Okay, so print on demand is kind of like another word for it is called order on demand, right? I mean, although print on demand is for some reason the most popular expression. Okay, so what it is, there are suppliers out there. Okay, some of them are called Custom Cat, Key Launch, and there's numerous of them. Now there's so many. And one thing that's great about this current game is literally 2,000 different product types, anywhere from dog bowls to mug cups to hats to tote bags, shoes to underwear, socks. I mean, it's a huge plethora of stuff you can do print on demand. Back when I first got started, there was only T-shirts and coffee mugs. Okay, so the opportunity's never been better. That's one thing. Okay, so what happens is you make your e-commerce store. Okay, now there's many different options. There's WooCommerce, there's BigCommerce, there's numerous options. But I highly recommend Shopify. Okay, the reason being is there's 2 reasons. Number one, they've got all the tools and everything you need to succeed. But so do the other websites. To be fair, so the other solutions to be fair. But for some reason or another, just maybe a little bit of dumb luck, Shopify had a bunch of us marketers, right, get on there early back in 2014. We really started, and there was this boom of people Shopify stores, including me, okay? And we were out there spreading the word about how great Shopify is, right? We just found Shopify kind of by accident. In fact, I know the person who, first person, one of us who went from Teespring to Shopify. I know the guy personally. It was just, he wasn't even aware there was another option. But anyway, so it's through the whole Teespring and all that community, Shopify built up. And then what happened was every single one of these potential suppliers built apps, applications that can plug into Shopify. So although you can get the same functionality with WooCommerce, BigCommerce, and all these other ones, Magento, for example, you cannot get the supplier options with those other things that you can with Shopify.
They've become the lead dog quite a bit, and I think Google favors them. I think, again, they were the 800-pound gorilla outside of, the big selling platforms like Amazon. Right? So you want to jump onto the big one. It just makes sense.
Yeah, it makes sense because from a fulfillment point of view, your options infinitely increase because there's every single major supplier out there has a Shopify plugin app that connects and automates your thing. So what happens is, so let's just say we'll take T-Launch, for example, okay? I plug in T-Launch's app. I go to T-Launch's website, and T-Launch sells all sorts of stuff. Right now, they have doormats. And actually, doormats are selling really well. So I say, okay, I want to sell that doormat, and here's my design. You get a design made. You load it onto that thing, and you plug in your price. You say, launch your product. And there's a little, obviously, more that I'm making it, simplifying it, but it connects automatically to your store. Okay, so it just launches into your store. It exports from their app to your store because of the connection via the app. Then after that, what happens is you start advertising that product. When a sale comes in, this is the beautiful part about print on demand. You literally do nothing. The order comes in, the data is pinged to T-Launch. T-Launch is just an example fulfillment company I'm using right now. There's many others. T-Launch gets the order, they get the customer data, they print out and they make the doormat, right? Because order on demand, they make it after it's ordered. They print it out. Usually takes them a day or two. And they put it in the mail via UPS or DHL or whatever, U.S. Post Office. It's on your way to the customer. The mail goes back. It pings back the tracking to your customer. So literally, it's hands-off delivery. It's one of the most beautiful parts about print on demand. You don't have to sit there and pack stuff for yourself. Like, for example, on Amazon, right? You were just talking about a garage full of scrap stuff, right? So you have to either fill that yourself, or you get your kids to do it, or you hire people to do it for you, right? Where with print on demand, I do nothing. Yeah,
you're just an information broker and working on your laptop warrior.
That's right. Exactly.
So you go to.
So that's how it works.
Right. So you go to Shopify, you build a store, you select your suppliers, you plug everything in. You mentioned advertise. So where do you advertise and begin to generate that traffic? Because without traffic, you're dead.
Okay. Yes, Facebook is the easiest one to get started with, and I suggest you do. But there's other ones. There's Snapchat, there's Twitter, there's YouTube, it goes on and on and on. I have a 5-step, basic formula to get you guys to get started. Obviously,
awesome.
I wrote this on my phone. Now, obviously, guys, this is the macro. This is the big picture. Overview. Okay.
So this is the big moment, man. This is take notes time. This is the 5 steps to Chris's secret gold, man. So take notes.
Okay, and obviously each thing has its own details. But anyway, step number 1 is choose a niche and domain. Okay, guys. Again, choose a niche. Okay, the market is more competitive than ever. Okay, these people who try to sell stuff on every single niche or multiple niches, they really struggle in general. Of course, I'm not talking about the one exception guy who
Right.
Put the money on number 45 in roulette, spun the wheel, and it came up 45.
Yeah.
Ooh, he's 1 in a million. Okay,
right.
Most people have success by focusing on one niche. So choose a niche, and guys, people always ask me, what niche should I choose? My first number question is, what are you passionate about? What is your thing?
Right.
Turn your passion into a business.
Yeah.
Okay.
So don't go after the obvious things, right? Like if you're thinking, because that's the big question, where do you start? So don't go start making Trump T-shirts, right? Don't go start making the meme of the day, because everybody's doing that, right?
Yep, everyone's doing that. You can do that, but it's very, very competitive market, right?
Yeah.
I think you should focus on what you know well, right? Okay. Number 2,
good point.
Research that niche. Okay, get to know it. You got to know your competitors. You got to know the big fan pages. Take a look at the fan pages that are what products they're selling, and the ones that are getting good feedback, and memes and posts, regular content posts are getting feedback. And how do you people say, well, how do I know? Well, you're gonna know because there are gonna be thousands of shares and hundreds of comments. Right? If it's got just a couple of shares and a few comments, that's not a popular post. So it's that simple. So just and the reason why you want to do that is because you want to build an understanding of what makes your target audience click, so that you can produce products that will appeal to them. Does that make sense?
It does. Yeah, and Chris, if you want to mention a few examples of maybe your students that have taken these steps and done them successfully, that would really be, without giving away any of their secrets, that would be really helpful. And you've got like over 400 students, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So
should I continue? With the last 3 steps, and then I'll give you a couple examples.
Awesome.
Okay. All right. Number 3, you want to create a high converting website. Okay, guys, just having a website is meaningless, right? In fact, there's a lot of websites that are done wrong. You got to spend some time on your website and make it look good, right? The reason being is, think about this, right? So what is the website? It's like I like to picture a car. Okay, the website is the frame of your car. Now, can you drive if you have a good engine and gasoline in the vehicle with an ugly looking car? You can, but still, I mean, you're not going to have them. People are going to look at your car walking down the road and go, man, that's an ugly looking car. And yeah, and so you're just going to limit your success with that. Okay, so you need to spend some time and effort on actually getting the website done right. Okay. Number 4, master a traffic strategy. Okay, this is really, really important. Master a traffic strategy. Okay. Now, traffic is a gasoline, okay? Really, really important, right? Master a traffic strategy. And now the one I recommend, I think the easiest one to get started with, and the one that has the most information out there in the marketplace is Facebook, but it doesn't have to be Facebook, but just choose one. Now, one of the biggest mistakes people make is, and I see this all the time, I'm going to be studying Pinterest ads, Facebook ads, and Google ads, and also YouTube ads, and I'm studying all these this week, and I'm going to start advertising all of them. And guess what happens? You suck at all of them. You're not good at any of them, and you're not getting results. So one of the key things for a beginner. Now, if you're more experienced and you want to expand your traffic sources, that's by all means do that. And in fact, I do. But as a beginner, choose one and master it. Right? Because all those different traffic sources I mentioned can you send you thousands of visitors a day. Okay? That's all you need to get started. Okay?
Yeah. So as a beginner, and even as a mature e-commerce practitioner, we all fall under that bad habit of the shiny ball syndrome, right? So you mentioned all of the different traffic sources. Which one of those are you recommending for the new
Facebook
e-commerce entrepreneur?
Facebook for sure.
Okay. And why Facebook?
Easiest to master. You can use those low budgets and get results. It is competitive. It is very, very competitive, to be honest. More competitive than some other traffic sources, but still the traffic is cheap, especially compared to Google. For example, Google ads are really expensive. And it's easier to master Facebook ads than most ads platforms.
There's a lot of training out there. Yep. Makes sense.
Okay. And next is the last one is start researching and come up with product ideas, right? This is the 5 steps to getting started, right? And researching. So once you have your traffic source and what the product, let me put this in the back of our frame of a car, okay? The website is the frame. The traffic source is the gasoline, but the product is the engine, okay? This is the part where people actually put the least amount of effort in, and it hurts their business badly because they spend a lot of time on their website, and then they spend a lot of time on studying Facebook ads and learning how to do it right. And they know, and I've talked to people, they really know. I mean, they know Facebook ads kung fu. They know every optimization strategy and traffic. I mean, it's amazing, but they're not making any sales. And then you look at their products, and their products suck. And the reason why is because they just thought if they could get a good looking website and they could get a good looking master Facebook ads, that they would be bringing in money would be flying out of the computer screen. But the reality is the most important part of any vehicle is the engine, and the product is your engine. So you've got to spend some time and effort trying to come up with unique and cool product ideas. But when you combine all three of those things, some crazy stuff can happen. Okay. Now you asked me for example. Okay. I'm going to give two examples, and I'm going to give out more normal examples here in a second. But I want to give two extreme examples.
By the way, before you do that, Chris, I want to mention, because I don't think we clarified this in the beginning. So, just to kind of highlight where you're coming from in this respect, your voice of authority here. You've got over 400 students. You've been at this over 5 years. Teespring approached you and said, "Hey, you're just a customer, but we want you to become our main spotlight success story because of the sales that you generated." Is that right?
That's right. Yeah, I was asked, and I was flown and invited to speak at their first ever event. It was a joint venture with a European PhD company in London.
Yeah.
Their first ever event. I was the second speaker on stage at that event.
That's pretty awesome, man. So how was that experience right there, just to be on a stage and in a new industry that you kind of just got into?
That was great. It was amazing because that was like, wow, man. That was like 2014. I'd just been in it for like just under 2 years, or year and 20 months or so. And I was like, wow, man, I've really made it in this game. And I really liked it. In fact, that was my catalyst to truly get into the coaching and training and really want to do this.
Yeah. And what other industry can you get into where under 2 years you can be on a stage and be the guy that made it? I mean, there's no other industry that you can do that. And it's amazing. This whole e-commerce space, whether it's t-shirts or products or whatever, just, it continues to amaze me. So awesome. I just wanted to point out the voice of authority here, that we're talking about real experience, millions of dollars spent, invested, made, good profit, all of that. So tons of experience coming out of this. So this makes sense now. So yeah, let's talk about those examples you mentioned.
Okay. So, and I'm going to bring these two examples out because all I want to do is open your mind to the possibility of what is possible. Okay. Now, again, let me repeat this. These results of these two particular members, or my math members, are not typical. Okay. My attorney requires me to say they're not typical, but it just shows you.
Don't try to sue Chris.
Possible. Okay. It shows you what's possible. This is illustrative. Okay. So one particular member built up a massive brand and ended up selling it for several $1 million, right? And last year at Christmas, not Christmas time, Mother's Day, because holidays are a big thing, right? So Mother's Day is coming, but there's always a Mother's Day or any holidays, Christmas or whatever, deadline where like literally this is the last day that you can ship. Okay, you cannot ship anymore. Well, last year during that Mother's Day push, that particular brand and store did $200,000 in sales over a weekend.
Wow, it's pretty impressive.
I mean, at about 25% profit. So literally, they made $50,000 profit in a weekend.
But this is one of your students.
This is one of the members of my group. Yes. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. How long have they been in the game? How long have they been?
They've been in the game for several years, so they weren't a newbie. But they came in with some private knowledge. Then they got in the group. They took some of the stuff that we teach and train, and they learned that, and they applied what they previously had, and they combined it, and this exploded.
Can I ask you what niche they were playing in?
No.
Is that a trick secret?
Game. I keep that one secret because they're still going. And I don't. But the other one I mentioned is another one of my. Actually, this one, not only this person, my coach, my training mastermind, but he's also a coaching student. He upgraded to private coaching. And when he joined me, he was 16 years old. In fact, when he approached me, he had been successful on Amazon as Kindle seller, and his name is Justin. And Justin reached out to me and said, "Hey, I want to be your student." Actually, let me carry it. Someone else introduced me to Justin and said, "This 16-year-old kid is going to contact you. I'm a fellow Kindle seller with him," because I'd met this person in an event. So I'd actually met this person in an event. His name is Brandon. I met that person, and so then, later on, what happened is the guy came on and he built out his coffee store with me. But I was so nervous about inviting him on for the coaching because my private coaching is a bit of an investment. I said, I'm sorry, but I need a written parental permission. And so I wrote out this thing saying, look, I can
you don't want some parent chasing you?
No. So I actually wrote down this thing. I said
you stole our kids.
I'm a teach. All I can promise to teach and provide the service, and here's the price. Yeah. I cannot guarantee results. You're fully responsible for your results, and your name and your parents' name. And I got the signed parent permission back, the PDF, and so awesome. I said we're on. And 2 years later, he's a millionaire.
Wow!
Awesome.
So,
well, if you need my parents' request to teach me and turn me into a millionaire, I can call my parents, man.
and then of course I have tons of people who've done normal guys. There's a whole group of people out there who go from making no profit in business to making $5,000 a month or $10,000 a month in sales, and they're happy, right? And let's be honest here. There are people in my group who never find success.
Sure.
Yep. They just don't.
That's in every group.
For one reason or another, they just don't. I mean, maybe they don't put enough effort. They don't stick with it. Yep. So
that's reality.
I cannot guarantee results, but what I can guarantee is, look, you're gonna get my ongoing support in the Facebook because I'm very active. You see me in there. How often I'm in there all the time doing those lives
all the time, man. And I know that that's something that I appreciate. If I'm gonna pay for somebody's services, I want them to be on all the time to help and guide me. So you gave some really good examples. Now let me ask you this, Chris. Let's talk a little more about the realistic expectations and timelines for somebody who is on the sideline, interested, and says, okay, I'm going to get in. I'm going to commit the time on my weeknights after work, on my weekends, take time away from my family, so on and so forth. Like, what is a more average or realistic timeline for somebody who puts in the grind and then begins to see success? Is that, I don't think it's 30 days, but what does that look like? So explain that average timeline for me.
I mean, this is a really difficult question because as I mentioned numerous times, it's a product business, right? Ultimately, it comes down to your ability to identify a product that will resonate. That's the ultimate thing, right? So some people get lucky and it happens in the first week or two. Some people take months. I would say it takes 2 to 3 months to start to make some steady sales and have success.
2 to 3 months is a reasonable expectation.
That's right.
Given all the constraints and variables, I understand that.
But some people take longer.
And what's an investment over that period to, test, invest, ads, etc.? Are we talking hundreds? Are we talking about 5,000, 10,000? What do people need to get into the game?
Keep in mind is that you're getting, when you start to make some sales, you're getting money back from your business. So I mean, I can't give you an exact figure because it varies a lot. But what I like to say to people is you want to have about $1,000 in your pocket to get started, right? Now, can you get by with less? Absolutely. There's people out there who
takes longer.
And then some people with serious no money. I mean, I know one guy who's been successful. He started with $30, and he just did influencer marketing. He contacted a lot of influencers on Instagram and said, "Hey, will you become my affiliate?" And he was knocking on those doors on Instagram. I mean, he would literally contacting 100 people a day, and he found
he put in the hustle.
What?
He put in the hustle.
He put in the hustle. Yeah, he put in the hustle, and he found some influencers who were willing to work on an affiliate basis. Now, when they say work on an affiliate basis, means so there's two types of Instagram influencers. There are people who are going to say, "Look, I want payment up front," or the people are going to say, "Look, I want, I want to work." Actually, some people actually prefer the affiliate basis because they in their mindset, if I can drive a lot of sales, I can make a lot of money, right? Because I get a commission, right? So anyway, he found those people. He joined my group and he had $30. He said, after joining the group, he goes, "Chris, I got my paycheck coming, but I got $30 for marketing." I'm like, he goes, "What do you recommend I dig into?" I'm like,
a chocolate bar, a Starbucks, you're done.
No. He had his paycheck coming in on Friday, so it was to pay his rent and food. But I mean, that was his marketing budget. I'm like, dude, the only cheapest way to market is one, download the app version, get it on your store so you can have affiliate tracking.
Right.
Dig into our Instagram influencer modules and learn how to find these right people and start pounding on doors. And he did it. It was amazing. And so, I mean,
so that's a really good
point. There are ways.
That's a really good point. I want to just talk about that. So it's not always about the big money. You mentioned, $1,000 to get into the game, and then the guy with $30 for marketing, but he pounded the pavement, right? He knocked on doors. So it is a question of money and time and effort, and that's a key thing.
Effort.
So I'm assuming your winning students, the ones that get to sales quicker, it's not just money, right? They're just working harder. They're grinding, right? That's what separates them from the ones that are just sitting there, right?
They're putting the grind in. They're consistent with their action. That's one of the things. They're consistent with action. I mean, it's just really, really important. Action is really important. Action is what you can control. The result, you can't truly control that. But if you take action and you learn from each action, both what worked and what didn't work, and you keep analyzing and you keep going and you keep taking action day in, day out.
Totally.
I can't guarantee it's not possible, but you greatly increase your chance of success. Right.
So what are you seeing trending in 2019 currently as far as products in this space? You mentioned doormats, for example, but what products, 5 products or so that you're seeing that are really on fire right now?
Hooded, ironically, even in these hooded blankets. For some reason, people like these hooded blankets. I don't know why, but they got these hooded blankets. They like those. Doormats, hats, and another thing that's really, really hot. And I'm not going to say any particular prototype, but personalization of products. So what I mean by that is these days, some print-on-demand suppliers allow you to have the customer put their own custom text in. So, for example, let's just say, give an example. Mother's Day is coming up, right? And this is a lame T-shirt idea, but I just want to give an example. Okay, you could have a shirt that says your name or mother's name, the coolest world's coolest mom, and then the customer can go in and put their own custom text, with them. Or I saw this trend the other day, and this is actually doing really well. It says established. What was it? This bitchin' dude or something like that was established, and then it says your birth year, and it said in Colorado. And then I saw the other day again, and they said in Arkansas. So I'm assuming that whoever's doing this, I don't know who's doing this, right? Whoever's doing it, they're clever. So what they did is they came up with kind of a cool expression, right? This bitchin' dude, established, and then it says on their ad, input your year of birth, and then in Arkansas, and then in Colorado. So I guarantee what's happening is they're advertising this to men in every single state.
Yeah, and that's the beauty of Facebook, right? That's the beauty of Facebook targeting. You could be that specific, and you could, like, Facebook will actually stop you from being so specific because it's almost Big Brotherish. But you can nail down and target and say, "Hey, it's your birthday today, and we know it. And here's a T-shirt that says it's your birthday with your name on it." So it's pretty effective.
Actually, I saw a shirt the other day. It's ironic, and I said, I walked up to the person. I said, "I know you bought that. Did you buy that on a Facebook ad or Instagram?" "Oh, I bought it on Instagram. It's my favorite shirt. I love it." And the shirt, the shirt said it was like a hoodie, but on the back it had a shirt that said I may be living in Japan, but my heart is in the Philippines. And she's this Filipino lady living in Japan, and they were able to use the targeting to target her.
That's cool.
That's pretty scary. All right.
But she loved it. She's like, "Oh, this is my favorite hoodie. I love this."
Yeah. Well, it's all about you, right? What's in it for me? Cater it to me. All right. So we just got a few more minutes, and I want to make sure that we wrap up and take some salient points out of this for our listeners and viewers. So let's summarize here, Chris. We know the opportunity is huge, like you mentioned, and Juan and I have both been in the e-commerce game for many years. It's only getting bigger, right? I mean, it's not like getting smaller. Bigger. More people online every day shopping. So this oversaturation idea, I totally agree. It's a bust. It's a perfect time to get into the game in whatever capacity. You're a great teacher. You're qualified. You've been playing at this game for a long time. What's the best way for viewers, listeners to get engaged with you? What are your social signs, URLs, etc.? How do they start with you and learn? And tell us a little bit about your course.
Obviously, please put the link below, the podcast or a place where you can. Okay. But you want to go to ecomvantage.com/give-me-love, right?
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah,
and we'll position that. We'll advertise it, and Chris has actually been generous enough to do something a little special for us. So we'll talk about that a little more, when we post this. But if our listeners, viewers come in through this specific link, you get a little something extra.
You're gonna get a bonus here, and I'm gonna talk about his. So the mastermind group I got 2 price points. Okay, first it comes with a course group, and then also a Facebook group. I'm in there every single day answering questions. I do live weekly Q&As 2 to 3 times a week. In fact, I have a Q&A for my members only after this, literally right after this. I'm jumping on from this to that. So anyway, so you get ongoing support, and there's 2 pricing options. There's $1,000 a year or $100 a month. It comes with a 7-day money-back guarantee. Within 7 days, for any reason whatsoever, I don't care if you wake up one day and you say, what, man, this is just not for me. Or Chris, your voice is annoying. I don't know why, but I just can't listen to it anymore. Can't listen to it anymore. For 7 days, you can refund no matter what. So I take all the risk. Okay. Then after that, you can, if you're on the monthly, right? Yearly is a different thing, but if you're on the monthly, the $100 a month, you can cancel any single time. Actually, you can cancel the yearly before your year's up as well. But you can cancel anytime. So if you decide, I don't want to continue on next month, no problem. You can ping us. We'll arrange for your subscription to cancel. When your subscription runs out for that month, you'll be gone from the group. So, but it's monthly. So you get in 3, 4, 5 months. You decide it's not for you. You can cancel at that time. So it's $100 a month or $1,000 a year. Okay. So for this, people who come through this particular podcast, right, I'm going to do something really special. And just all you have to do is private message me after you join the group and say, I came through the podcast, and you're going to get a free website review. So now a lot of you will be beginners who are just building to us. First, you got to make your website. Okay. But then after you make your website, you can message me and say, Chris, I saw the video on the course and I made my website. Can you please go and analyze this? And guys,
that's awesome, man.
I'm pretty proud of this. I do website reviews all the time, and I've never failed to help someone increase their conversion rate. Conversion rate is really, really important, right? The difference between 1% and 2%. So, for example, let's say you have 10,000 visitors going. If 1% of people buy versus 2%, it's just massively different. Okay.
Yeah.
So you'll get a free website review. Okay. If you take the yearly option, okay, not only will you get a free website review, but I'm also going to give you a free 30-minute coaching session. Guys, you'd be surprised how much a powerful coaching session will be. And again, all you have to do is private message me and say, hey, look, I came through the podcast link, and can I want to claim my website review, or I bought the annual membership for $1,000. I wanted to claim my coaching spot.
That's pretty awesome. So,
and by the way, I don't offer those. Trust me, guys. If you go to the website, the website, you're going to see those bonuses are not there.
Right.
They're not there because those are special only for this podcast.
Hey, man, and we really appreciate that. And, for those of you watching and listening, this is really, really a big deal. Normally, e-commerce courses go for thousands of dollars. I've sold my own course for thousands of dollars, and I think $100 a month is very, very reasonable. I think that's awesome for those people that are at that beginner level and they want to get in without a big barrier. And it's value-based, right? So it's not a big entry. And then you got the 7-day trial period, that you can bounce out. And I know enough, from having talked to Chris for quite a while, that most people don't opt out just because you get in there. He hasn't really talked about the amount of content.
We've had two refunds. Hundreds of people have had 2 refunds. Right. That's it.
I'll also say, after we met, Chris, I went and signed up after you shared the link, and after signing up, I realized while going through the training, you also have a very key thing in there, and that's needing to find an accountability buddy. So what's going to happen is you go into this program. What better than I'll step back. I initially looked at, before starting the journey, looked at franchising and opening up a Smoothie King or some other types of businesses that required tens of thousands of investments. Yet here's an opportunity where we have anywhere from $30 to $1,000 in investment plus the investment cost of the course. You have a wide blue ocean of niches where you can go in and spend the time with you and have an accountability buddy that would help us become successful. And all we need to do is put in the effort. And I must admit, I started the course, realized that I needed an accountability buddy. So I had to kick up a notch and become very serious about what's happening real quick. So I think that's good.
Community.
I just posted in my group that we're going to be 10 minutes late. So we can keep going a little longer.
We're going to wrap up soon. But yeah, to Juan's point, to your point, community is really, really important. There's a lot of sellers out there that, trainers that will kind of throw a website, training website at you and then kind of walk away. But again, we know Chris, we've spent time with him, and I know he stays very, very engaged with his students. And you really need that, right? Because you're learning the ropes and so on and so forth. So that's awesome. So again, special offer, we'll make that available. The opportunity really is just getting bigger and bigger. I have guys who are friends for many, many years who are career people, and I get approached about once a week from some friend who's been in IT for 30 years. And he's kind of reached that point, or she's reached that point where they're just tired of it. And, they're always asking me, hey, how do I get into the game? So I think this is an awesome program. There's lots of other great programs, but I really, really am excited about this one just because the barrier to entry is so low. And I think most people can jump in and get the information, start, test it out, and so on and so forth. Juan, you talked about a franchise. You're talking about $200,000, $100,000 on the cheaper end to get into a franchise. And we know the stats on a franchise. We know the stats on a brick and mortar business. 50% or more, 90% or more restaurants fail, 50% or more businesses fail.
Yes.
And with e-commerce, of course there's failure, but nowhere near the scale or the level that we're talking about here, right? So
I mean, if you fail, you're not going to spend nearly as much, not even close.
Right. And you have to fail.
It's ridiculous. You're going to spend.
Because there's your learning, right? It's like, we know that's not where we're going to spend money on ads, and we know that that's not the right type of creative to create. But those are all towards your learning. All right, awesome.
Awesome.
So what's your future there? Are you permanently living in Japan and planning on becoming a citizen there at some point?
I already have my permanent residency here. So.
Oh wow, awesome.
So,
I heard that's tough to get.
It is tough to get, but anyway, I've got it, so I'm pretty happy about that. So yeah, I'm planning to stay here, but I also travel a lot. I mean, last year I went to Vegas. Reno. Sorry, Reno. My bad. Reno, Vancouver. I went to Perth, Australia. I went to Thailand. I went to Taiwan. There's one other place I went last year. Montreal, all within 1 year.
Oh, Montreal, my hometown. Okay.
So I like to travel a lot. That's one thing that I like to do. And some of it is for work. I was fortunate to be invited to speak at 3 different events last year.
Awesome. Okay.
Of course, when I go to speak at these events, I piggyback off that and I do some touring as well.
Of course.
And this is all while running your business.
All while running my business. That's right.
Yes.
Awesome.
And by the way, I want to make one important statement. This is really important because people always say they want to have a lifestyle business, and I do have a lifestyle business now. Okay, and so do you guys, but it's not like that in the beginning, guys. Don't come into this thing saying, I'm going to try to live a lifestyle business.
Right.
You've got to grind in the beginning. You got to create that business. Then you can turn it into a lifestyle business.
Yeah. You got to pay your dues. Absolutely. You got to pay. You got to put in the working weekends. And if it's a choice between Game of Thrones or I take it back. Game of Thrones always wins. But if it's a choice of any other show besides Game of Thrones, then maybe put that show aside and just do your grinding and put in your weeknights and your weekends and talk to your family. When I left the corporate world, I had to sit down with my wife and I said, honey, for the next 5 years, I'm committing to business. And it's going to mean, taking time away from the family. And we had that understanding. But yeah, it's a lot of work. And I think people forget that, right? They just kind of naturally fall into, hey, if I do 30 days and I put up a website, the millions should start coming in. What's the problem here? Right?
Yeah.
So that's a good reminder.
It is. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
So awesome. I hope you guys get into my group. You go to ecomvantage.com/Gimme.Love. We're going to have a link somewhere around.
Yep.
I don't know how the podcast works on the left, right.
We'll figure it out.
Below. There'll be a place. Yeah. Find the link and we'll see you in the group.
We'll figure it out. And Japan is on my list to visit.
Please come.
I'd love to know where all the great sushi spots are, and I'm guessing probably every corner.
They're all over the place. They're all over the place. Yes.
Yeah, I'm guessing
it's not hard to get sushi here.
Yeah, probably not. All right, Chris. Thanks again, brother. We appreciate all the information, and we'll catch you in your group.
Okay. Awesome. Cheers.
Take care.
Have a good one. Thank you. And to recap for today, the action steps you take is you want to look at print on demand, get a Shopify store. Also, action steps are choose a niche, choose a domain. You want to choose a niche that you're passionate about. Niches in areas such as sports, if you're passionate about sports or soccer, for example. Next, then also research the niche and your competitors. Then create a high converting website. And then 4, master traffic strategy, for example, with Facebook ads or other platforms. But per Chris's recommendation, master one platform first and then move on to the others. And last but not least, research product popularity, unique, cool ideas. But just remember, everyone, there is a clear blue ocean of opportunity in regards to niches, otherwise known as categories, where you could create a shirt or a product that is applicable to folks that will be interested in that product.
I'll just add to that. So I think one of the things that I've always used, and I kind of talked about this at the beginning, is really good partners, right? And in this case, really good teachers, because there is an ocean of opportunity, but there's also an ocean of potential failures. And, you don't want to learn from every mistake. You don't want to have to necessarily make every mistake yourself. But if you've got somebody who's a guide and they've been doing this for 5 years and they've churned and earned, millions of dollars, and they've got hundreds of students, that's a fountain of knowledge that you can take advantage of. And take some of those shortcuts from A to G, or instead of going from A to B to C, so on and so forth, and very quickly leapfrog into success in a period of months as opposed to years. And that comes from my personal experience of having been in business for many, many years. Find the smartest guy in the room and go and hang out with that guy. Right? Don't start polling every single person or trying to figure out everything yourself. Go find that smart guy, hang out with him, and that's essentially what Chris is doing with his Facebook group and with his course, with that small cost and so on and so forth. So that's my advice. So hopefully you guys learned a few things. This is a new launch podcast for us. We're kind of informal in this podcast. And we're hoping to bring the brightest and the best to this forum. Juan and I have both been at this game for a while. And so we're hoping to use this platform as a way to give back and to help those of you that are mid-career, starting career, end career, whatever it is, and are looking to create a side hustle or a main hustle. And instead of talking to you one-on-one, which a lot of you contact me and request, and I think this is a platform that Juan and I created so that we could give back to more people, as many people as possible, in as quick way as possible. So we're going to be touching on subjects that either we have experience in, so that's going to be Amazon and real estate and e-commerce and so on and so forth, or areas of opportunity that we're interested in that we think are also going to be of interest to a lot of you that have reached out to me throughout the years, and so on and so forth. Feedback is going to be critical. I've kind of been away from the broadcast world for over a year now. I used to be very, very active, as many of you know from my videos on YouTube and Facebook. But feedback is important, so let us know in the comments when we post this what you liked, what you didn't like, what subjects you want to get into, what businesses you'd like to have us find the top experts in their field. And hopefully we can bring that knowledge to you and provide that guidance from our experience of 20 plus years of experience.